Om Shanti. When I was reading today's Murli, it suddenly made me think that for 63 births, we have just been searching for, we thought we are searching for people, places, and things, but the soul was looking for knowledge, purity, love, happiness, peace, true spiritual power, bliss. And then suddenly, one day Baba comes and Baba gives us everything that we ever needed. We needed attainments and the sweetness of relationships. So somebody was looking for a good parent, somebody was looking for a friend, somebody was looking for a beloved. And Baba comes and he really gives us the love of every relationship. And he gives us everything that the soul needs, all at once. All the knowledge, all the acceptance, all the appreciation, everything that we were looking for. And then I think we don't know how to behave when we have got everything, because we have been living in a culture for 63 births where we just knew how to look for everything. And then we don't know what to do when we find Baba. So we don't know what to do when we have found everything. So I think that's the dilemma, because we have been living as seekers. Now, how do we behave when we have attained everything? Because we have just one sanskar, that of the seeker. And now that Baba has given everything that we were seeking, how do we behave now? And one thing is that we keep putting to use. So, Baba kind of gives us all the raw material. So everybody says that we are looking for peace and happiness. And now Baba has given all the raw material for peace and happiness. So you use the knowledge. Baba has given the knowledge. Baba has given the knowledge of, Baba has given so many swaman. So you want to feel powerful, you want to feel happy. Baba has given the method. Baba has given the raw material for everything. Baba has given the raw material for peace, raw material for happiness. And then the fact that Baba has come and we have found Baba is huge. And I think that the understanding that we have found Baba, and since Baba is the ocean of all attainments and the one that fills our heart with the juice of all relationships, so after having found Baba, we are in a place where we understand that it's just everyday thing, experiencing the relationship with Baba or putting Baba's gyan and pyar into use. So all that we will keep doing, but then now what? So we were living our life in quest, and there was a purpose. So, I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. Nobody knows the secret of peace and happiness. And now the secret of peace and happiness is no longer a secret. So peace and happiness is very, very attainable now. So now It's just a matter of time before we realize it. So now it's not about a quest for peace and happiness, and there is this expression, pursuit of happiness. So, people say that happiness is not attained, it is only pursued. But now Baba has made happiness and peace a reality. And Baba says it's not a matter of pursuit, it's a matter of realization. And now you just have to make a little effort, like everyday Amrit Vela and Baba's remembrance and, doing karma according to Srimad. So all that will, and a little effort. And what I have seen is now staying happy or peaceful is not a big task. A little attention and you can do that. But now what is the question? So, and again, there is this one interesting thing in the Murli today. So, Baba today is first talking about super sensuous joy. So, we have, so Baba has given us the secret code through which we can have an experience of eternal, permanent joy, which is not dependent on any external and physical factors. So, I will tell you first the source of this expression, super sensuous joy. So in Hindi, there is a saying in scriptures, अतीन्द्रिय सुख पूछना हो तो गोपी वल्लभ के गोप गोपियों से पूछो. So there is this expression, atindriya sukh. Atindriya sukh means sukh which is unrelated to the senses, to the indriyas. And then in the scriptures it is said that gopis, who were those who were depicted with Sri Krishna, they experienced atindriya sukh. Now, it is interesting that when the question of gopis come, then what is admirable is gopis were not sannyasis. Yes, gopis were ordinary people living in households with love of God in their heart. And Baba has told us that everything in bhakti is a memory of this Sangam Yug. And Baba says that Krishna depicted in bhakti is actually God Shiv Baba, Nirakar Shiv Baba in Sangam Yug. And then Baba says that the Murli is not the flute. The Murli is this Murli, Gyan Murli, which we listen to. And gopis had a lot of love for Murli. They were always shown to be mesmerized by the Murli. And we are those gopis who are mesmerized by the Murli. And Baba says, I am God and you are those fortunate souls who are playing your role directly with Baba. And Baba says, you are those gopis who look ordinary, live in households, but you have a relationship with God Himself. And because of this, you love His Murli. And then you are the ones for whom it is said that if you want to understand super sensuous joy, then go and ask these gopis. So Baba says, you are the ones who experience what is super sensuous joy. The joy of realizing who you are, the joy of realizing who you have found, and the joy of knowing yourself and your entirety. So now that we know who we are and who we belong to, where we have come from, what is our future, it gives us immense joy. And Baba says this is super sensuous joy. And now that we are in this joy, first thing is there is nothing left to be attained. And then there is this expression that Baba says, Pana tha so palya. Yes, so Pana is over. So all that journey of pursuit and quest and us finding to attain is over. So now what? Because we don't know beyond Pana. So we don't know what to do when you've got it. So, and it's a very interesting thing because people know how to pursue, and it's a very deep sanskar. You must take out some time to think about it. So we know how to follow something, we know how to pursue something, but we don't know what to do when we find it. So, people chase people, get married, and then they don't know what to do with them. So there is a lot of, and Shakespeare also talked about it, and I think in The Merchant of Venice he talks about it, and he says that there is greater joy in pursuit than in finding. Yes, and so we, as a as in Kali Yuga, we have this fixation with pursuit, and we really don't know what we would do when we find everything. So in bhakti there is pursuit of God. In the world there is pursuit of happiness. There is pursuit of peace. There is pursuit of joy. But then Baba says, here I am, God is with you, happiness is for you, peace is for you, all the knowledge is for you. You know that now everything is just a thought away. It's not difficult at all. Then what do you do? And what is the sign of a soul who is in supersensuous joy? So, one thing that Baba today says is a soul who is in supersensuous joy is not capable of hurt. So, you can only hurt something that's weak. If something has got the strength of happiness, and you see, when a soul is full, then you cannot cry, you cannot hurt. That's very beautiful. So you're incapable of hurt. And in the world also, there is a lot of research done, and these days, there is study of the mind, and people understand that if you already have a lot of trauma, then you can't take anymore. So, if you are already a traumatized soul, then you can't take anymore. And any little thing is going to disturb you, upset you, hurt you, and you will have complaints about anything and everything. And I have literally firsthand seen souls who can complain about anything and everything. They can complain about the chair arrangement in the room. They can just get upset and all worked up about how the chairs are arranged in the room. And I have seen that. And it's all because the emptier you are, the more you cry. So you can find a reason. And Baba says, cry, but cry means complain, criticize, get upset. Everything is crying. And Baba says, when you are empty inside, you're capable of crying at the drop of a hat. And this is why there is so much, this feeling of being upset and dissatisfied and hurt and betrayed all the time. And Baba says that now that your heart is full of supersensuous joy, you cannot cry. You can't say, I found Baba, I found love, I found peace, I found all the knowledge that there is to know, and then cry when something goes wrong. Yes, if you found Baba, you can't cry because you're beyond, you're beyond laugh and cry now. You're beyond profit and loss. You're beyond loss and gain. You're beyond success and failure. That's where true knowledge takes you. That's where Baba takes you. And then what do we do? Do we just leave the body then? So, so you're living in the world and there are situations and there is everything. And so what do you do how do you see the world or how do you feel about everything? So, earlier when something came, you felt, okay, this came good, this went bad. So you cried at something, you felt happy because something came, something became attained. And then now what do you do? So Baba says, now you see everything as a scene in drama which is here to make you stronger and more experienced. Yes. So if something comes, something is favorable, you know it is for seva. Yes. So when you move beyond this state, when you see, Baba gives us all the raw material. Baba gives us the knowledge, Baba gives us the recipe for true happiness, true peace, everything. And the recipe is remembering Baba and applying knowledge. That's it. Yes, and becoming pure. And the more you start using it, you are in a state of super sensuous joy. And then I just think about how your attitude towards things that are coming will be, because you'll still have things which are favorable and situations which are unfavorable. So when there is something that is favorable, you know that it is for seva. Anything that's favorable, anything you're getting, anything you're achieving, anything that you count as success in the world is coming after you are in super sensuous joy. That's not coming for you because you don't need anything now. But it's coming to you because you're Baba's instrument and it's coming for seva. And then there is something unfavorable coming. So it's coming to teach you something, coming to make you an expert, coming to make you experienced. Because nothing can pull you down now. So nothing can hurt you, nothing can upset you, nothing can hurt your ego. So now nothing is coming to destabilize us or upset us or hurt us because we are not capable of those emotions. Then why is something unfavorable that seemingly is unfavorable coming? Because it's trying to teach you something, it's trying to make you stronger and more mature and more experienced. Because you will need the qualities in Satyam. You will be peaceful, happy, loveful, and all of that. But then you will be very experienced. You will be so experienced that you will become the king of deities. So you must be pretty experienced for that. And how will you become that? By doing the right thing at the right time in Sangam Yug. When every soul reaches out to you, you say the right words to them, you give them the right solutions, you help them in the right way. But how will you do all of that if you are not mature enough? If you have not seen everything firsthand, how can you guide other souls? And Baba says, now when you belong to Baba, then Baba will make you very experienced. And when anything unfavorable happens, you must know that this is to teach you something that you don't know. And Baba says that up until now, it was all about pana. Now it is about banana and banana. So now the pana is over. you've got everything, but we are not yet our best, and all our time and every situation and everything that comes our way is either for banana, seva, or banana, learning and getting mature. And Baba today says something very beautiful. I want you to understand this very well. Baba says, you children know that Baba is sitting in this one, in Brahma Baba, and in all of Baba's work, there is Baba. Yes? He is our true Baba and also our true teacher. This is a study place. Underline this. This is a study place. And in a study place, what is very important? Examination. You cannot have a study place without exams. Can you have a study place without exams? You cannot have a school without exams. It doesn't work like that. And will you study here and go give exams somewhere else? No. So it's a good idea if you're studying and then you are being tested by those same teachers also. Yes? But then if you hear the murli about being tolerant and the teacher says something to you directly with which you have to use tolerance, then you say, oh my God, what kind of a teacher she is. And she is living in Baba's house, and then she should always be sweet and mild and delicate. And why should she speak such words that I have to tolerate? But then the task of the teacher is also to give you an exam. And this is what children forget. So you are in your parents' house, you get love. But then you won't go elsewhere to give an exam. So the exam will also be given here only. Yes, so when you live with the Brahmin family, then you will be tested. Yes. And I will tell you one thing. So once, we were in Madhuban. And then there was this senior Didi, and she called all the students. So, and I was sitting there, so I saw this scene. So she called all the students, and then everybody came, and then she said, so when I call everybody, other times they don't come, but for Toli, everybody comes. So she said, Toli khane sab aa jate. So then, some children among them, they just felt a little hurt. And then Didi smiled and said, so I got to know that you're not beyond feelings ka flu. So Baba says, you shouldn't have feelings ka flu, but you're coming into feeling. Yes, bad feelings because you heard something. Now Didi said, if you can't tolerate this much in Baba's house, how will you tolerate what happens in the world? So we must understand that this is a study place, and in a study place, you are taught and you are also examined. You are also tested. And one should not think that in Baba's house, and if you start judging the teacher because she's taking a test, so you are not understanding that it's a test, and you start judging the teacher for the test, then who loses in that bargain? It's not the teacher who loses. And Baba says we must understand that, and when souls get surrendered in the yajna. So you don't want souls who are inexperienced and don't know anything. They talk about tolerance and they talk about power to face, but they have no idea about what they're talking. So you want souls who really know what power to tolerate means and what power to face means, and who will teach them? Will you go leave them on the road to learn that? Will you leave them amongst impure souls and make them learn that? No. So when somebody is in the center, you make sure that they know what power to tolerate is. They know what power to face is. They know what power to cooperate is. Otherwise, these would just be words without any strength when they speak it to others. And every soul for that matter, if you want to be close in the Brahmin family, you have to understand that there will be tests in the Brahmin family. And Baba says this is a study place. Some among you also forget this. And then you start judging the teacher for giving the test. Yes. You can understand everything about a person from his activity. Baba says some children fail when they are given a little examination. Little examination and they will fail. Otherwise, children should say, whatever you feed us, whether you give us love or whether you beat us, we will never leave you. So children means 100% commitment. This is not a relationship of convenience. This is a relationship for growth. And if as soon as things become unfavorable, we start questioning Baba, we start questioning the family, then how will you grow? So Baba says, the words of children are, whether you beat us or whether you give us love, we will stay obedient. So this is a family. You don't leave your parents because you don't like their behavior one day. And this is not a family or parents who are doing something out of emotions or, just impulsively. They are doing everything with a purpose. And the purpose is to shift you from a human to a deity. And that means you have to be pretty powerful. And if you're not given the circumstances to apply powers, how will you become powerful? And I always say in the class that when I came into Gyan, I just mugged up these 8 powers. Power to face, tolerate, discern, decide, pack up, withdraw. But I had no idea what they mean. And it is in Baba's yajna that I learned how powerful I am. Because with Baba's love in my heart, I could see that everything is happening for my benefit. It is not happening to me, it is happening for me. And once you belong to Baba, you must always know you are in his hands. And whatever is happening to you is not happening to you, it is happening for you. And it is happening for you to apply what you learn. And when you apply that, you will become experienced and powerful. So Baba says, you must never cry. This feeling, this thought should never cross your mind. You're God's child. You have such a great father and bridegroom, and yet you cry after belonging to him. I, your senior father, am sitting here. Baba says, Maya catches hold of you by the nose and so you cry. If you really remembered Baba, you would understand the purpose behind everything and you would never cry. Cry doesn't mean cry only. Cry means everything. Getting upset, hurt, complaint, everything. It is remembered. If you want to know about super sensuous joy, ask the gopis and gopis. However, Maya makes you forget. Baba says, you should surrender and sacrifice yourself to the Father. So now that we have found the Father, and Baba has given us all that we sought, there is nothing to seek. What is left is surrender and sacrifice to Baba. And bano or banao. Now all the experiences are for growth and all my resources are for seva. That's how it should be. Because earlier our experiences were full of trauma and we were running away from them and we were trying to find someone who would save us from them. But now our experiences are not capable of hurting us with this heart full of supersensuous joy. So all our experiences transform into learnings and experience, growth. And all our resources are not to pursue happiness and peace because that we already are. So they are for seva. So Baba says, now that you've found Baba, surrender and sacrifice to Baba. And Baba says, if you remember this inside, you would feel happy. And today Baba also talks about something very important, which is, Baba says in bhakti also, there are people who call departed souls into the body of Brahmins. And during Shraddh, in earlier times, this was a very common practice. And then at that time, that soul was offered what they liked. So, if somebody liked puri sabji, then puri sabji would be prepared and served to the soul who descended into the Brahmin soul's body. But these days, even the Brahmins in the world don't have that much purity. So this whole custom of calling souls into their body has kind of taken a back seat. But Baba says that even in bhakti, people have seen that a soul can come, sit in a body and take the fragrance of the food that's offered. Vasna, we call in Hindi. Vasna means that fragrance or that vibration of the food you can have. So the soul will get quenched by accepting the fragrance of the food. Now Baba says, you also offer bhog to me, but I am not a slave of the fragrance. So I'm abhokta. I don't take the fragrance of the food you offer to me. Okay, so Baba says, I'm abhokta. I don't take the fragrance of the food you offer to me. Then the question arises, then why should we offer bhog? Yes. So Baba says, you offer bhog because when you prepare bhog, you think about me, you remember me. When you offer bhog, you remember me. And when you remember me, you get the strength from me. So you don't do it because Baba needs your bhog. You do it because by offering bhog, you stay in remembrance and you are able to draw the strength by staying in remembrance of Baba. So in this Sangam Yuga, there are many ways. So you see that in the world also, if you want to have a relationship with somebody, then that relationship is based on remembrance always. But you cannot remember somebody without making them a part of your practical life. Yes, so if your tan, man, and dhan are not going to that person, that then keeping them in your remembrance becomes very difficult. Can you remember somebody whom you don't give any part of your tan, man, and dhan? It's not possible. So Baba says, whenever you do anything for seva, anything for Baba, whether it's offering bhog, whether it is contributing to Baba's task financially, whether it is doing Baba's seva physically, whether it is remembering Baba, it is all about accumulating your punya ka khata. Because when you sit in my remembrance, you do anything that's related to me and my work, then you are able to draw strength from me. You don't do it for me. You do it for yourself, but when you do it with me, you are able to create the punya karma for yourself. So in Sangam Yuga, whatever you do it, it looks like you are doing it for Baba's task, but you're doing it for yourself. Because you have learnt the equation that when you take one step for Baba, Baba gives you 21 births of fortune. So Baba says, you have understood that doing anything for Baba means getting multifold in return. So you do it according to that law, not because I need it or I'm looking forward for it. Just like, in a chemical experiment, the catalyst remains unchanged, but he brings about the experiment. So Baba says, when you do anything for me, it's actually benefiting you, but you do it because the catalyst is important. Because without karma, you cannot get a return. And when you do karma which is directed towards impure souls, you create bad karma. So when you do it for impure souls, keeping Baba in between, so you're serving the world, but you're keeping Baba in between, you're doing it on Baba's Srimad, then you are getting 21 births of fortune in return. So Baba says, don't forget that when you think you're doing anything for Baba, you're not doing it for Baba, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the return you will get. But then you can't get the return if you don't route it through Baba. Okay, so that's how it goes. And then today Baba says that, in the blessing, Baba says that Bap Dada loves ordinary souls. The Father himself enters an ordinary body. Even millionaires of today are ordinary. Ordinary children have pure feelings, and the Father needs children with pure feelings. In Hindi, it is called bhavana. Baba sees the bhavana. Baba doesn't want those who have body consciousness. So Baba says, whoever you are, wherever you are, what you have doesn't matter. If you have bhavana, then Baba loves you. And Baba says, according to the drama, to be ordinary at the confluence age is a sign of fortune. Because ordinary souls whose buddhi is not shrouded by too much ego are able to recognize Baba, have pure feelings for Baba, and are able to surrender and sacrifice to Baba. Ordinary children are able to make the father belong to them, because the only way to make the father belong to you is to belong to him. And how do you belong to the father? If you know who you are and who he is, then you don't do any nakra in belonging to him. And you think too high and mighty of yourself, you think God has to belong to you. But if you know who you really are and who he really is, then you don't show any tantrums in belonging to him. And then he belongs to you. And so they experience fortune as their right. Those who have such a right become multi-million times fortunate. So when you know who you are and who he is, you surrender and then you claim the fortune. And you think too high of yourself, you take time in surrendering and the fortune also gets delayed. Okay, Om Shanti.